You are all worthwhile. April 6, 2014. How many times, dear ones, have you made yourself to be not only judge but critic, as well of those around you and everything else that you feel would benefit from your negative perception, including your own self? So many people that you do not know are judged and criticized by their appearance, their behavior, body and facial expressions, even posture and what they are wearing. Every day people are being evaluated. Some people will receive more approval over others, regardless if they pose a threat of being a potential foe or friend, regardless if you like them or know them, regardless if you need them in your life or if you ignore them. This kind of practical yet functional way of approaching people, how they are assigned labels, grades, category, or even value, are as if they are possessions or merchandises similar to farming animals or other things that are of certain value and service. Unfortunately, dear ones, it is this way of thinking that directs so many dear souls to speak so tactlessly and negatively of others. Now, if you put aside the doubtful ethical side of this kind of behavior and attitude towards others, and how it affects them, try to think, what is the problem with this kind of attitude? Like most things, what you see before you is scrutinized from the basis of any inner work and spiritual practice you have applied. Through your scrutinizing examination, what is often discovered is that from all the fault-finding you discover is actually a great distraction from being in the present. As well, fault-finding is derived from inflated egos, from the need of feeling important over others. Because of this, it is essential to probe further into the process of finding fault with others. What is largely discovered when you take the time to understand why you judge and criticize others, is that it's a negative habit that you have adopted, and you come to realize that is both unnecessary and inappropriate for anyone of conscience and heart. Those that are truly awake in presence have absolutely no need to judge or criticize others, for they know and understand everyone is on their own path, and their level of understanding and awareness is quite different. And the awakened ones know no one deserves to be judged or criticized. An important question to ask yourself: do you really need to judge and criticize others? There are times when discernment is required, such as in business or service relationships. But even in such dealings, your discernment is not based on finding fault in the silently critical way. Quite simply, dear ones, all you need to do is exercise a sharp perception to see them as they are, while at the same time respecting their humanity. Whenever you search for faults in others, you are making valued judgments, and they are on the most part negative. When you are looking for fault, you have already created an image in your mind that the person before you were worth less, in ratio on how much you dislike them, disapprove of them, or just can't make a connection with them. When you discriminate with discernment, you are in touch with your inner wisdom. You are able to see this person or any other dear soul just as they are, no more and no less. Thankfully, dear ones, for the majority of people that you meet and pass by, do not require your need to discriminate, judge, find faults, or even criticize. It is important to let go of this negative need to find fault with others. Every time you judge and criticize another, you are adding another obstacle across your path to work through. Allow yourself to open up your heart and enjoy just being with people, without needing to shield yourself through dehumanizing attitudes towards others. We know you have more than one occasion found fault with yourself. Why is it, dear ones, that you also judge and criticize yourself? Have you ever pondered what it would feel like to know that you are living the life of your own choice? Have you ever thought what it would be like to live without your complaining, your self-pity, and your self-criticism or of your grouchiness? So much of your precious energy is sent down these negative drains. When you look for the faults in others, you are not making any connection or uniting, you are widening your separation from them. And when you don't accept yourself or the life you have, you create a separation from your own profound deep nature. You become distracted from all the wallowing you do in a pit of self-hatred, or with grand schemes to enhance yourself and life. But in truth, dear ones, you can always exercise an objective discriminative approach to life and allow it to transform how you think and feel towards all people, regardless of who they are, what they wear, of financial status, skin color, ethical background, and any other category that people are slotted into. You can bring positive change into your life, without judging others, without negatively criticizing others or looking for any fault. You do have the choice to accept, respect and to value who you are in the situation or circumstance that you are currently in. No one is worthless, all are worthwhile. Many times personal challenges and negative emotions add stress and pressure in your life, and many times these pressures will direct you towards actions you know are not right. Through anger, frustration, jealousy and even resentment, you may find yourself being dragged down paths that have you acting disrespectfully towards others, such as being physically aggressive, lying, verbal aggression, emotional aggression, negative slander or spitefulness. These kinds of actions are not healthy, and they serve only to cause harm in some way or form. It is important, dear ones, before you act or speak, to determine your feelings beforehand. Ask yourself if after the words or actions done, will they fill you with regret later? Will these actions cause even deeper grief or chaos in the situation you are facing? Sometimes casting judgments and criticisms towards another develop into something that is ugly and unkind, but it doesn't have to. You don't always have to have the last word. At some point, being happy will outweigh your need to always be right. Any judgment that you make that originates from your integrity does express who you are. Definitely integrity and having a clear conscience are one of your most appreciated assets, and they are also your permanent assets. So even when you are in a cloudy area, where you are being judgmental and critical, you are also reinforcing or weakening your integrity. Understand, dear ones, as we begin to reach a close in this week's transmission, that to a great extent your actions are done out of habit, and like all habits they can be changed. It is up to each individual to know who they are, to understand the whys of their own person. And many times this leads you on a great adventure of self-discovery that will open many new opportunities for development and growth. Through self-discovery, you discover why you tend to explode over the simplest of things, you find the root to why you judge and criticize others and yourself, you learn to understand how your emotions affect your actions, and you begin to understand that you are responsible for all your words, thoughts, actions, feelings and choices. And with this discovery you begin to see the mistake of judging others, and discover the joy of just being with people for who they are, no more and no less. It's about respecting yourself enough to respect others. You can educate yourself through discipline to be able to hold your integrity as being sacred and special, and to ensure that all actions done by you are coming from this perspective. Eventually, dear ones, you will find yourself no longer needing to judge, to criticize, to find fault with others. You will be balanced enough with your inner and outer self that you will no longer feel you are walking a razor's edge between what is right or wrong, regardless of the situation that is before you. Remember, dear ones, how you choose to act does matter, and not just for the health of your own personal relationships, but for the health of your spiritual journey. To proceed with peace of mind, ensure that your conscience is clear by living a life that is filled with integrity. Remind yourself that any time you allow yourself to come forth from your ego, you are preventing yourself from rising higher in consciousness, and from reaching greater depths in the realm of spirit. Judgments based on integrity will boost your will, and permit you to approach the divine, without the damaging effects of ego-filled baggage one can carry. If at any time, dear ones, you feel overburdened, release your burdens to the angels that come to you every time you sigh, and build enough trust and faith in God to release to Him. Allow His brilliant light to cleanse every particle of your being with His infinite love. I am Melchizedek through Julie Miller. spiritualnetworks.com